Hi, I'm Marcus Curie, broadcasting live here in Hamburg at GBTA VDR. With me this afternoon is Christoph Carnier, President of VDR. Welcome, Christoph. How are you?
Thanks, Mark. I'm doing fine so far. Great event. We have a great number of participants. Awesome.
1,100, right? That's got to be great.
Almost 1100.
Fantastic.
29 countries. Awesome.
Fantastic. Hey, let's get straight into it. I've got a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind. Really to better understand German markets, and certainly from a corporate travel management perspective, which really leads me on to the point of, how is the position of corporate travel management seen, in companies in Germany? Has there been a change there?
Well, I would not say a change, but this pretty much depends on the company. Yeah. So also in what shape is the company, but moreover is what is the understanding of also the managers you're reporting to, if they have a sense of this whole topic, that they accept what is the added value we are bringing. Yeah. So and therefore, because it's a complex topic, and it starts already with the question: where is your home base? Partially it is in procurement, but the percentage of procurement activities is limited. Yeah, so of course it plays a role, yeah, but pretty much it outsourced. So you have the big contracts, you have the limited numbers of transactions, small transactions, but many things are taken care via digital solutions. I mean,
right.
We have the online platforms, you have the TMC, you have a fleet provider, you have a fleet management company. So there's a lot of things which are already handled. And at the end of the day, we are talking about the process. And the question is, how is this process seen in your company? And I think each company has to decide, do I want to have a noiseless process? Or do I want to have some challenges, some noise around it? And the problem is, if you have a noiseless process, everybody thinks, hey, not a big deal.
Right.
Everybody can do it. Yeah.
So it can vary by sector as well.
Absolutely.
Which actually is a nice segue to my other question, really, is do you see the position of a travel manager largely a dedicated full-time position, or do you see it actually considered to be the responsibility of other positions, for example, HR? Is it just a subcomponent in terms of the role? Size of organization, I suppose.
Yeah, the size definitely plays a role, yeah? And the more travelers you have, the bigger your program is, the more countries you have to cover, the more complex it is. So, and the question is, what is your understanding? So you can decide. If you have just, let's say, one department taking care for everything, means of the technical process behind, besides the other suppliers you need anyway for organizing in the mobility area, for example. Also, what about the policies or the governance part? Yeah. What about tax implications? What about duty of care? Yeah. So you can all split it up, yeah. Which means for me that you might have more people in other departments if you don't act together. Yeah. So because they have to increase it, it's a complex scenario.
So the need for collaboration in the organization is absolutely critical.
Absolutely, right? I think this is one of the roles in a company which has really a lot of interfaces to deal with IT, with legal, with HR, with tax, with security, with environment now. So there are a lot of things, finance for sure, because you have also to keep the travelers that they are able to pay all the invoices. So it's really complex.
You think the position of a travel manager has also elevated over the last years due to the need to collaborate with multiple functions in an organization and C-levels maybe?
I don't see this as a C-level, but it's a matter of also how big your travel program is, but in general, it is really something complex, and you need to understand your company, and you need to understand the market, the regulations. And by the way, one thing has never changed, and this is the change. Because if you want to have a job where you do always the same, you should not apply for this job. Because it's a rapidly changing industry. You have to deal with new companies coming in with new processes, with new regulations, and we have to deal with a lot of threats. Geopolitical things, natural disasters and stuff like this. So it is.
Indeed.
You usually don't get bored.
No, that resonates, and it's such an emotive area as well, right? So, actually, on that point, everyone is talking about holistic mobility in travel management. What does that mean to you?
I think this is also something which shows that it has become more complex, because in the older times, you usually had some people traveling from A to B. You used the airlines, and now you have a lot of mobility providers. I mean, we had them before as well, but now the question is how to connect them all. And there are technical capabilities where you're able to do so. This is one thing, but also very often a fleet topic comes also in, so that you are not only looking on when we're talking about business travel. Now we have also partly the fleet coming in, but also some other aspects, because the companies are now obliged to report their carbon 2 footprint. So also commuting from back to work is also part of it. And this is now also falling into the area of a travel manager as well. Not only, but to a high extent when we're talking about negotiating with local train companies, for example, to bring the people, bus companies, bring the people back into work, because this is all part of the carbon 2 report.
So very much like you alluded to before, it's an ever-changing role, constantly, adding complexities to the role as well. So that's great. Christoph, always a pleasure talking to you. Great event. Thank you very much for your support. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, everyone.